Just wait till you hear what happened next.
It was a mess. It was an absolute mess, and it started almost immediately upon our arrival. So when we get to the venue, all right, I remember I asked that the remaining wedding items be dropped off at the venue at 10 o'clock. They were. Okay, so we're going to be happy about that. Those chairs, they actually made it there. So if it were the brothers who did that, if it was a groom, I don't really care. Thank you. Thank you for listening. So me and my coordinators, we get to the venue, we start to set up. So we run into a few problems almost from the jump. Okay, we get into the ceremony space, and although I had shared the floor plan with the rental company for these specific ceremony chairs for all of the guests to sit in, they're looking at me like they're crazy. So now I've got to stay in here, got to replot out the space so that they can put the chairs down properly and move as quickly as possible, because we got a lot of different elements that need to be set up. Now, mind you, while I'm in the space dealing with the rental company and the chairs, my coordinators are out in the foyer area getting things set up for the cocktail hour and the photos and getting things set up in the kitchen for when the caterer arrives, all of these things, okay? So we are moving quite feverishly within this environment, trying to make sure everything is set up. It's about 2:30, y'all. It's about 2:30 when I find myself out in the foyer area talking with my coordinators, and I see some guests come. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. They are very early because this ceremony is not supposed to start until 5:30. The guests come into the environment and they were like, hey, we are looking for such and such wedding. I'm like, okay, yes, the wedding is going to be taking place in here at 5:30. They were like, oh, okay. Our invitation said 3:30. What? Y'all. You talking about somebody who almost lost her damn mind? When I see guests coming at about 2:30, they got there early because they wanted to make sure they were on time and they need to deal with parking, etc., for a ceremony that they believe starts at 3:30, that we know starts at 5:30. Y'all do know that's going to be a very big problem. So I am looking at these guests and I'm like, I'm sorry, can I see your invitation? Because trust and believe me when I tell you this couple was not big on mailing out invitations. They had everyone go to their wedding website to learn about the details for the wedding. And I know for sure on that wedding website that ceremony says start at 5:30. All of the vendor contracts list that this ceremony starts at 5:30. The details on the website speak about parking, dietary restrictions, dress code, blah, blah, blah. Nowhere on there does it say that they were supposed to be starting this ceremony at 3:30. So I asked this couple, because again, it's only one couple at this point. I asked this couple, I said, can I see your invitation? Can I just make sure I am not losing my mind? I said, because we are literally just really getting started on the setup, and I don't even know, I don't have anywhere to put you to even chill. And yes, we are in a very nice museum style space, so you can possibly walk around and look at some exhibits or something, but I don't have anywhere to put you. The woman shows me her phone, and true enough, it says arrive at 3:30 to get a seat. I'm like, well, is this a concert? What are we doing? So, hey, I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why that was sent to you, at a later date. But yeah, we're still setting up. So I bidded them well. I don't know where they were going to go, but we needed to go in there. So now it's time to have a powwow with my team. I'm like, we're going to have a problem. Because if this message went out to wedding guests, we're going to have more guests coming into this environment while we are literally setting up. And when I tell you, it's stuff everywhere. Okay, I mean everywhere. And I hate that when people come in and they see you setting up. That's horrible to me. I didn't want this to happen, but I also knew that we couldn't get this stuff set up by 3:30. That's just not possible, because some of the deliveries for things we needed weren't even coming till about 3:30, 4 o'clock. And so now we got some problems. we're moving as fast as we can at this point because we discovered that this is going to become an issue. So I'm working with the rental company. My team is moving around. And then I'm realizing at about 3:30 that my caterer is still not here. And I'm like, where is the caterer? You know, the person who has never been in this venue, doesn't have a clue how to set up things and blah, blah, blah. So I said, hey, do me a favor. This is one of my coordinators. I said, do me a favor, head on up to that upper level and see if you see the caterer up there, because I had called, but no one had answered. She heads on up. I keep doing what I got to do. She comes back down. She says, Desiree, I need you to come upstairs. I need you to see something. I head on upstairs, and to my great surprise, the floor plan was set up pretty much to how it was supposed to be. So I was grateful for that. The reason my coordinator had called me upstairs is because the linen that were on the tables, y'all, anybody who knows me knows when it comes to linen, there are two things that I need to happen. Okay, let me explain them to you. There are two things. For one, I need to make sure that the linen come to the floor. It's okay if they are a little longer than the tables because we can go ahead and bustle them under. But I need those linen to drop. That's what I'm going to say it again. Drop to the floor. And then I need the chairs to kiss the linen. Not be pushed in so you have a buckle, but just kiss them. Gracefully kiss the linen because it makes the pictures look lovely. Y'all, remember I told you this caterer owned a sports bar? The linen that were on these rounds and these rectangular tables were those nice square white cotton linens that you see on tables at sports bars in most cases. Yeah. Are y'all familiar with those? Well, let me give y'all a better understanding. These linen that were on the table did not fit the tables. I've seen linen not touch the floor before. I have. I have seen linen literally come midway, part way, dropping onto the table. I've seen that. These linen, y'all, I can show you within the screen. These linen covered the table with about this much hanging over. Yeah, let me say that again. The linen covered the surface of the tables, but the linen drop was about this much. Y'all, talking about somebody who wanted to scream, that would have been me. You know why? Because it doesn't matter what type of chair we had, you were going to be able to see damn near the entire leg of the tables that were in that space. And to top it off, those beautiful ghost chairs that we had downstairs at the ceremony were now going to have to come up to the reception at some point and be at these tables. You didn't have to worry about the ghost chairs kissing the linen, touching the linen. There was no linen drop for them to touch. This room was going to look a mess. So I asked the caterer. I had to find the caterer. Coordinator's looking at me. I had to find the caterer. I said, sir, what, is something going over these linen? Because he said, these are the linen they selected. I said, no, they didn't. No, they didn't, sir. They didn't select those. So he said, yes, they did. I said, did you tell them that they weren't going to cover the tables at all? He was like, well, I told them that these were the linen that I was going to have to get from my sports bar. I said, explain to me how this conversation went. He shares with me that he had contacted a linen company and he had given the couple a quote, and the couple decided they didn't want to pay for that, so they were going to use his linen. They were going to use his linen. I said, so there's no alternative anywhere in all of your equipment to make these linen look any better than they do? He was like, oh, don't worry about it, Desiree. The guests are going to sit at the table. Don't worry about it. It's going to look real nice. Y'all, all I could do is laugh at that point, because when the floral designer got there, she's looking at me and I'm looking at her, and she's like, where are the linen? I said, girl, don't even ask. Just put the flowers on the table. Because I ain't even had the wherewithal to tell her that this is all we're going to get for this day, and that my pretty ghost chairs are going to look a hot mess. I already knew that this was a wedding that I was not going to be able to show on my social media, although I thought that I would. But anyways, we got to leave this space. The caterer is doing whatever he's supposed to do. We're going to go and head on back downstairs. As I come back downstairs, there are now a group of people who have arrived and are looking at us as to why they have nowhere to sit for a ceremony that's supposed to start at 3:30. Y'all know why? Because the ceremony's supposed to start at 5:30. I don't know what to tell y'all. Walk around the space. I don't even know what to tell y'all at this point. I honestly do not. We keep moving. I contact the hotel. I had a coordinator over at the hotel. I says, give me an ETA on arrival times, all of these things. She says, Desiree, we got a situation. I'm going to call you back. I'm like, oh my God, okay. She's going to call me back. I text the photographer. I said, what's going on? Could you give me a little insight as to what's going on? He says, yeah, there's a problem. I'm like, okay, cool. My coordinator calls me calls me back about 15 minutes later and lets me know that the bride and her mother are not happy with their makeup and that they are going off on the makeup artist in this very moment. I'm like, okay, what happened? Because at this point, there should only be 2 people left and we should be heading on over to the venue soon. She says, I'm not sure what happened, but they are not happy with the makeup. They are literally washing the makeup off of their faces. I'm like, I'll be damned. What? They had a trial. What is the problem? She says, Desiree, I don't know. I got to get off the phone. I'll call you back. I told my coordinator, I text her because she's dealing with whatever she's got to deal with. I said, keep me updated. I got to deal with some things that are going on over here. All right. So now we are moving along the day. All right. Yeah. It's a lot going on. I know y'all trying to absorb this story. It's crazy when I tell y'all. We are moving along. We are still moving as fast as we can for ceremony setup, cocktail setup, reception setup. People are coming. We don't know where to put them. It's becoming, excuse my French, a shit show up in here, all right, because of what this couple did and did not share this with us. We would have actually worked with the venue to see if we could have had a space for them to go ahead and sit if we had known that this was going to become an issue. Anyways, there's nothing I could do about it, okay? So the groom and the groomsmen finally arrive over to the environment. I talked to the groom. I says, hey, why didn't you tell me that you all had changed the start time of the ceremony because all these people are here? Well, he says to me, well, the bride wanted to make sure that everyone was inside of the room at 5:30 because I had been instructed that once she goes down the aisle, no one else can come into the space. I was like, yeah, I get that. Y'all, can I tell you that for a ceremony that was supposed to start at 5:30, y'all, why the bride didn't get there till 6 o'clock? The bride did not get there till 6 o'clock. And she had the audacity when she got there to want to rush and get things done. Ma'am, you are late. You late as hell to several of your wedding guests who have been here since, I don't know, 2:30, 2:45. They real pissed and dehydrated, okay? So what are you talking to me crazy for, talking about we need to get moving and this, that, and the third and blah, blah, blah. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that the uncles didn't even get there till 5 o'clock to approve the setup. Y'all stop playing with me. It was too much tardiness going on at this wedding and then everybody getting mad at me as if I'm not a timely person. I'm so irritated and agitated at this point that I walked away and told my coordinator, handle this ceremony. I need to take a woosah moment. I need to digress because they have been coming at me crazy today with all of these surprises that I was completely unaware of. And now she in here talking to me crazy. So I walked away, left my coordinator there, as well as the other coordinator who had come from the hotel, photographer, videographer. They trying to get her together, calm her down. I don't know what the hell was going on. Y'all, I walked away and I got a phone call. I answered the phone. It is the makeup artist from over at the hotel going off, not on me, just literally going off. She is practically in tears. She has been disrespected. My understanding is that there was a physical altercation in the room in which the bride's mother must have put hands on her somehow. Okay, that truly, truly upset this woman. And she called me also to let me know that they did not pay her all of her money. And I'm like, oh my God, do me a favor, calm down for one. Send me an email because there's nothing I can do right now. She's like, I want my money and blah, blah, blah. Baby girl, I'm trying to get this very late ceremony to start and you talking about you want your money. It's nothing I can do right now. I said, do me a favor, send an email. I will make sure the groom gets it, not the bride, because that's the issue. Make sure the groom gets it. But I can't do anything for you right now. She hangs up on me. I'm like, okay, I'll deal with that later. I then received a text message from the MCs. Yeah, this couple had specific MCs to accompany the DJ that was going to be performing at the reception. They had a whole component that they had as a part of the reception that was going to be really fun, that was going to be really lively. And these MCs were going to get the crowd going, et cetera, et cetera. So the MC texts me, y'all, I can't stop laughing at this story. The MC texts me and says, I'm not coming. What?
Yep, this story's still not over. Tune in next week for some more wedding tea.